are we moving fast enough? Or are we getting left behind? Because if you can't embrace this, you're going to get left behind. I mean, you hear people talk about this all the time. They're saying that our economy is going to grow massively because of AI. You want to see the fruits of your labor. I mean, everybody does, but just don't take it for granted that it's always going to be like that. Welcome back to the show. Happy New Year. Getting into the first real week of 2025. And today we're going to talk about analyzing trends in this new year, 2025. Some of the things that I've been really thinking about, especially over the holiday, like everybody gets into this mode of when the new year comes in, you're sitting and you're thinking about what happened in 2024. What happened? Did my expectations get met? Did I really see what I really thought was going to happen? Or did I fall short? Did I succeed? Whatever it is just that time of year where everybody reflects and everybody does it, whether you're in business, whether just your regular life, health, whatever you name it. Once you get through that, you get into the new year, right? You're going to start setting some goals. So in today's episode, we really just want to talk about trend setting. So what are the trends that you're evaluating when you're going into this new year? So the first thing that I always do, especially this time, I'm always looking back and reflecting, on the previous year. Did I hit all my goals? Did I hit the numbers I wanted? Did the actual things that I thought was going to happen, right? Projected, forecasted, whatever term you want to use, did it actually happen? Or where did I fall short? Did I miss the boat? And I know a lot of people struggle with this, and they should, because if you're doing things responsibly and you're interested in continuing your growth path and building either a bigger business, better career, self-improvement, personal development, whatever it is that you're looking to improve for 2025, you really have to look back and pay attention to the trends. And one of the things in business that I think I'm hearing a lot of people talk about is this idea that they feel like they're becoming obsolete. And what I mean by that is that they feel like the way that they used to do things, the things that used to work, that, were tried and true, are just not working either at all or as well. And that's pretty much the same thing, in my opinion. So the idea is that, yes, do we oftentimes get complacent in the way that we do business or the way that we approach, whether it's getting new customers, customer service, more revenue, generating better products, whatever that is that, makes your business go, is it still getting there? And I think one of the things that I've really reflected on is this idea that, things are moving so much faster. The difference in pace from 15 years ago to today is massively different. I mean, ask anyone, right? Things are continuing to change. You have your macro, right? Which I like to call, things that are outside of your control, right? The economy, inflation, things are more expensive. And then you have the micro, what you're doing in your own organization, to address, your own needs and what you're trying to produce. And one of the things that has really come to mind when I'm thinking about this episode is just this idea of, are we moving fast enough, or are we getting left behind? And with everything that is available to you, the idea is that you're going to have to continue, to, project that growth using the tools that are ahead of us. And with technology and AI and all these new things that are constantly being pushed, and they are because you hear about this stuff all the time. They're talking about how AI is going to be the next big thing in this industry, in that industry, how it can make you so much more efficient. But the idea is that, are you going to look at that and be afraid of it? Or are you going to adapt? You're going to embrace it and look in your own organization and look at the things that you're doing and seeing where this new technology can help make not only you more productive, but your team more productive. And you have to think about these things in terminology that you can really get your arms around. Because if you can't embrace this because you're so stuck in the way that you used to do something, then you're gonna get left behind. The train has already left the station. So the idea is to be on that train and continue to analyze, what's coming ahead of you. But some of the things that are a little bit hard for a lot of people that I talk to is they genuinely they're just afraid. They're afraid of change. And they used to be good at changing. They used to be good at making that, progress, adapting because it was at a certain pace. But now, as many of us are experiencing, this is going at a much faster pace, much faster than we ever expected. And I think that we even can understand because it's something that we haven't quite seen before. And some of the things that I've really started to do and started to think about was, where am I getting my information? Am I looking at my own data, right? Which is very important. So if you're looking at your reports and seeing what you did last year, how profitable you were, what your expenses were, how much productivity that you were able to generate, if you're tracking all of that, take a look and see what's happening because how can you take that? And I'm not saying that you contract because that is a natural reaction that people tend to do when they get into these situations where, they have a fear of change or maybe they weren't as profitable as the prior years or they're contracting in revenue and their expenses are going up. The natural idea is just to contract and stop and pull back and cut and so on and so forth. And I'm not saying that that's not something that may be needed, but in order to really make good decisions, you have to have information. Get the information, analyze the trends, see what's going on, look at what you did last year, look at what you did the year before and the year before that, and then start taking that information and start looking at the trend and seeing which direction you're going, your company's going. What is the driving force? And really start looking at, what are those key indicators that are causing you to be here? But I would say that in my experience, especially with coming from a place of vulnerability, it's more that I got a little bit complacent because things were flowing the way that they were supposed to be flowing and things were good. Profit was great, revenue was great, closing deals, right? Customers are happy. And then all of a sudden, I don't want to say the other shoe drops, but that's kind of what happens, right? Because there are things that are going to be outside of your control on that macro level that you're not going to be able to, do anything about, inflation, right? Higher interest rates. I mean, whatever it is that is driving, you're at the outside market, that's directly affecting your business and on the micro side. And how are you going to address it and what you're going to talk about and how you're going to deal with it and how you're going to lead your team into this new year with this new set of rules and guidelines, right, is really going to be up to you on how you decide to get there. Reliable sources. So I ventured out recently to, start thinking about, where can I go for good information? There's a lot of people that are out there on the internet. There's a lot of people on social. There's a lot of podcasts out there. One of the things that's really helpful is, hey, what a concept. Talk to other people in your sphere, right? Talk to your customers, right? Talk to your friends that are in business. Talk to other business professionals. Get in and start getting a lay of the land because that, in my opinion, is going to give you the best testimonial of information that you're going to require to make really good decisions. So my favorite thing is if you really want to know what the weather is outside, right, or what it's going to be today, go outside and look and see for yourself. And I think when you take that initiative to not only listen to people, that are talking, online or podcasts or whatever that is, but looking at, whatever information that's being put out there, but actually talking to people and seeing what they're going through, thinking about like, some of the things that they're taking on an approach. And who knows, you might be instrumental in giving them ideas as well as getting ideas to be able to be more productive and see how you're going to take on 2025 and make the changes that are going to be necessary to make yourself successful and take your company to the next level. A lot of things about when we're talking about things in the future that you've like not experienced, right? What are you really trying to see? Like the idea of, yes, hey, I got complacent. This is working. I hear a lot of this term of rinse and repeat. And you know what? That does make a lot of sense. If it's working, it's working. So you should do it over and over and over again. Well, rinse and repeat only works until it doesn't anymore. So this idea that, you're going to catch on to something and you're going to be able to ride that wave, great, ride it. But know at some point that wave's coming to the end or you're going to wipe out and you need to paddle back out there and catch the next one. So this concept of, hey, this works now, but you have to be thinking about, what's going to be coming down the pipe, right? What is the next wave going to look like? What is the next trend? What's a new problem that you're going to save or the next problem that you're going to face? And being able to solve that problem and learning the skills that you're going to need to constantly be flexing that muscle. And just know that you're going to be flexing that muscle a lot, I would say in 2025, because there's a lot of things that are happening. And with all this technology breakthrough, I mean, you hear people talk about this all the time. They're saying that our economy is going to grow massively because of AI and all of the extra productivity that you're going to be able to pull, not only in your output, but the output of your team and just in general, everybody that's doing something to contribute to the economy, with the help of AI. Now, that may all be a bunch of, right, big talk, but I would probably say that it would be really irresponsible to not really think that through and think about like how that would affect your business. So if your competitors are going out there and they're embracing AI or looking for new ways to do things and using technology to make themselves better, I wouldn't sit on the sidelines and just let that game play out just from the sidelines watching it. I would want to be getting in the game as fast as possible and making sure that I'm paying attention or you're paying attention to the new trends that are coming down the pipe and looking at all this new technology that's available for your specific industry and thinking about new ideas on innovation and how to make yourself more valuable to the customers that you serve. Lastly, I think it's always, always important to never take anything for granted, never take anything to the point that just allows you to just think that everything's just going to be, status quo. You always need to be hungry. You need to be hungry to learn, hungry to grow, and you need to be like just focused on making sure that, yes, work hard and make sure that you get to enjoy all of these things, right? Because you want to see the fruits of your labor. I mean, everybody does, but just don't take it for granted that it's always going to be like that. And it just takes work. And I don't know who I'm talking to right now, but I just want to highly encourage you to just dig down deep, trust your gut, push yourself, get outside of your comfort zone. Don't be complacent. If you found this episode helpful, share it with someone who you think needs to hear it. We're on YouTube on Hey Charles Biz. We're Hey Charles on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Hey Charles 77 on Instagram and Charles Ernst on LinkedIn. Thank you for listening today and Happy New Year. Talk to you soon.